perspectives, on there are so many issues today, and I would like us to touch a bit about all of them if we can. 1 hour is, quite a short time for us to discuss in length some of these issues, from the protest to the local government to the palliatives on the state level to the Dangote refinery. There's so many issues right now, but we can only do the best we can. Welcome once again to the melting point of Memories at 6.5 FM. My name is SHARON Mandor, and I'm joined by a public affairs analyst. He's also the president and founder of Open Forum, Citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor. Good morning to you, Citizen.
Yeah, good morning, Sharon, the baby girl.
That was yesterday.
Yes, you are. It continues.
Oh, thank you very much.
Let me say on air, happy birthday to you, and may your dreams come true.
Thank you very much, Citizen. I do appreciate.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, I'm glad to have you join us today, Citizen, because there's a lot we're going to be talking about. But let's start off with the state level. The Enquiry State Governor, Pastor Omoeno, has urged local government's transition chairman, ministers or ministries of agriculture, local government affairs, and other relevant agencies to ensure timely and transparent distribution of the palliatives provided by the federal and state government to deserving citizens to cushion the current hardship. Governor made the call yesterday in a meeting with commissioners for agriculture, local government and chieftaincy affairs, and local government transition chairman at the conference room of the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to clarify criteria and expedite action on the palliative distribution. Confirming the readiness to commence distribution of the items by Friday the 26th of July, that's tomorrow, the governor urged the chairman to be on ground in their various local government councils to receive and endeavor to release them to village heads immediately, while charging village heads to ensure fairness in the distribution. The governor and leader of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state charged the local government transition chairman to continue giving their best to the people and not base their services on the chances they stand in the upcoming elections, assuring everyone that the state government will continue working with them even after the end of their tenure in the council. Before we go into the intricacies of this, the local government election and all of that, let's talk about the palliatives. Now, we heard a lot about how uneven and unfair the last sharing of palliatives were, and we have to move forward from this, because I'm not even sure that the governor is aware of it. I listened to one of the times that he said that there were no issues during the last sharing of palliatives. But moving forward, this is another one. They're going to start sharing tomorrow. How can we make sure that there's transparency and accountability and there's effective distribution in the palliatives?
Well, thank you very much. First, I want to thank God that I'm able to be here. Remember when we last spoke, I was
down. Yeah, that's true.
I was down, and I had to be under medical care.
How are you feeling now? Feeling better?
I thank God. You'll be shocked that even while as sick as I was still working, still struggling to meet up, touching some things here and there, because this life, nothing will stop us by the grace of God from contributing our quota in sickness or in health. But to God be the glory that I'm here. The governor's meeting yesterday has raised some issues which we may not have time to talk about, but like you just said, we need to little tidbits here and there. He met with the transition chairman, and the last judgment of the Supreme Court, which even the Attorney General said and others said, lawyers said, it took immediate effect. We've seen that has not taken immediate effect, because transition caretaker committees are still being run. It's only in the Osun State or so that the entire 401 or so caretaker committee members resigned. That's about the only one in the Federation. So it still calls to questioning implementation of court resolutions or court judgments. That is one. Two, federal government's sudden release of another batch of palliative when the outstanding either 2 or 2.5 billion that was supposed to have been given to states have not been given. At least so far, we've not heard from a private state government that the outstanding from the earlier 5 billion that was marked, which the state government had to augment to take care of that very loud palliative program, was not given. And suddenly we hear about 24,000 bags of rice. I don't know if it's, some say it's 25 kg.
Yes, 25 kg.
Okay, maybe it's 25 kg. I don't know how much that cost, but a bag of rice now should be about 75,000. So 25 kg, I think that's half. It will still take the cost of the rice given to nothing less than close to ₦1 billion.
Remember that the state government has also doubled it.
That's why I'm even having to talk with the amount. The federal government may afford to go to where they seized rice from importers, keep them for several years, and some of them are not edible like we see online, and when they are sent down, they are considered as being sent. But for the state government, I know Pastor Mono will want to buy sound rice to add, but like I've said, you look at the cost. It's not enough to compete with the federal government in augmenting what they sent. It is to take a stand to say we can do better. No economy will ever thrive on palliative. And my organization, Open Forum, we did a documentary which is online for people to watch. It's on Open Forum, which is an NPO on Facebook, where we looked at a particular agency of government. It is called Akwa Ibom Agency for Community and Social Development. That is the agency that government, under the administration of former Governor Godswill Akpabio, established. Is a Category A board. The long and short is that if people go to that platform, they will see the whole story. I don't want to go into too much of it, but the bottom line is that that very board has been left in travails for maybe well over 10 years or more without a board. And that's the board that the World Bank uses. European Union, World Bank, the state government, federal government are supposed to use to reach out to people in the communities. And their responsibility has been taken over by the ministry. And as I speak, one of the issues that I raised, which I want to I think say it here very importantly, is that the entitlement from World Bank that helps people with these communities, rural people, touch their lives, rural projects, market, market, water provision, town halls and all of that. That's what they used to do without even the governor ever going there to commission. And it ran into millions of dollars. As we speak, Sharon, the federal government just released 438 billion. Are you aware of this? Under the NG Cares program, which is still a livelihood support scheme for the vulnerable. Those are better channels. But what is the big deal here? Why am I bringing this to the table? I'm bringing this to the table because it's almost about a month since I put up that investigative documentary. Nobody cares. What is one of the core things? One of the core things is that there are different levels of beneficiaries depending on state. Are you aware that Akwa Ibom State is among the least states to benefit from any scheme that comes out of the NG Cares or World Bank funding, because we are on Category 1, which are those people, those states that get less than $5 billion or $5 million. While a state like Zamfara gets how much? From about 35 to 38 million dollars. For what? Because of what they are doing to take care of the vulnerable. How come that Akwa Ibom State is putting in so much to deal with poverty, but because our ranking we are ranked as the least. There's something wrong, and government needs to listen to people like us. We are not anti-government. We will never be able to keep quiet when we know what is right and we don't do it. So it's not enough that His Excellency is putting in so much money to add to what federal government is going to put in, whereas we have an agency which I have even under open forum made the proposal to the state government that the bulk purchase agency is absolutely unnecessary. Why? They are doing the same work that the Akwa Ibom Agency for Community and Social Development is doing. So convert that board. Let them go and become the substantive board of the Akwa Ibom State Agency for Social and Community Development, so that they can do the proper thing and then be able to attract. Imagine the difference between we call it $3 or $5 million and $35 million that are given as grants. That is what we are losing, because people don't think. People don't want people that think, because a number of people have consolidated themselves into gods, and the governor, no matter how brilliant, no matter the praise singing, no matter the tune, will never be in tune until he has access to the right information, ask the right questions, and do the needful. So I'm not impressed with this fanfare of 24,000 has come. We are adding 24,000 because we have something that is greater than this going on that can be addressed. And Akwa Ibom State will become among the states that get as much as 20-something to 30-something million dollars from whatever comes from World Bank. And if you look at even this distribution from this 438 billion that federal government is dispersing to 34 states and federal capital territory, Akwa Ibom State is going to get, I don't think I'll be wrong, something less than 3 million or 3 billion, whereas Zamfara will be getting about 30-something billion. It's like a fairy tale, but those that know it, they know it. And anybody that want to challenge me on this, I'll just refer the person, go to Facebook, open forum with Citizen NKO. You see the documentary, the travails of a category A board and staff. And talking about the staff, Sharon, are you aware that the staff there have been owed for 13 months at the last I checked? It may be up to 15 months now. So we are I'm using this medium to appeal to His Excellency. Yes, he didn't come to start palliative, but the situation of the country has brought that to the fore, and thank God that you are responsive. After all, in some other time this would have happened and it wouldn't have been important at all. So we can do it better, and by doing it better, there are thinkers who don't want appointment in government, but we can help government succeed, because those in government, they know why they are there, and we know why we've never been to get the kind of result we should get, except for funny praise singing, which is even demeaning to the character and nature of the government.
You brought up something earlier, and I would like you to actually talk more on that.
Yeah.
The fact that the Supreme Court supposedly sacked the transition chairman, but in several states in the country they are still working. What does that have to say about our judiciary and the enforcement of some of their rulings, their judgments?
You see, under AC, thank God I'm sweating under AC. It's one of those things. It shows how it is. There are some things I don't want to say here. I'm going to do another documentary specifically on that. I had complained here that the federal government, through Mr. President, went to court, suing the state government, calling the governors thieves, that they steal local government funds. That alone is an indictment. And yet people steal, but when they are caught, they are ashamed, and they don't even want to be caught. People lie until they cannot lie again, and they'll say, okay, and they look for plea bargain. But there must be that kind of a struggle. But we do not see even the position of the state governors that this is what our argument. Up till today, I have not seen it. That is an indictment. And when that judgment was given, I was even waiting for the judgment to be given. I am one of those who believe that it was unnecessary for the federal government to have gone to court in the first place over the issue of what is called autonomy. There is no word like autonomy for local government. There's no word like that in a real sense. Until that word itself is defined, until a think tank, until a team is set up, which I am doing that voluntarily, not just for my state, but for this country. Why must that term be looked at? Are you aware that the power to make laws still reside with the state government? Make laws for local government reside with the state government? Sharon, are you aware that, is it section 162, sub 5 or so of the Constitution talks about what is called joint account? Joint account was never meant, it was never meant to allow governors access, or state governments access to local government money. It was meant to help state government bring their own 10% from IGR. Every month, the state IGR, like what the federal government makes, there's a quota. It's a 20.3 or so percent, which is going to share among the local government using a particular model, which is even itself questionable. Now, state governments are also to assemble the money they have generated internally, and from there, 10% they will now share to the 31 local government areas in Enquiry State, the 44 local government areas in Kano, the 20 local government areas officially in the Constitution in Lagos State. Lagos State has 57, 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas. So they have 57, but it's only 20 that is recognized in the Constitution. So Lagos State IGR, are you with me? It's supposed to be shared, 10% of it. The state will keep 90% of what they generate, add 10 to what the federal government has given. And then the local government, we're supposed to get more monies. Did you need a court judgment to enforce that? You do not need a court judgment, for God's sake. You needed even an executive order or just a simple directive to the anti-corruption agencies to look at the books of the local government. And when you hear some people say we're getting our full funds, they are lying, and they will never be able to come to this mic. Why? Because puppets don't have brains of their own, and no society can grow where puppets are. Leadership is about responsibility.
Are you saying now, citizen, that
Yes.
the local government chairman are not getting the actual amount of money? Because even the governor has said that they have been remitting the full amount of money that is meant for the local government.
What do you call it? The governor said so.
Yeah.
And he challenged them. I don't want to maybe go and I take notes. That's why I do joke with my diary. I take notes. And somebody made a comment about what the governor said when he threw the challenge at the chairman. And the person said that there's no way those chairmen will have the guts to come out and say, yes, the governor has been giving them all their monies. Because even in the first place, if you ask some of them their staff strength, I bet you they may not know. Ask some of them how much they pay for salaries. They may not be able to tell you, because a number of them are not in touch with reality. They are not. I've said that council does not exist until, like I said, which I want to go back to, we are able to define autonomy. We will never, in fact, we have never even started discussion on see people rejoicing that, oh, there's autonomy for local government, we're going to get more money, we're going to get more money. Somebody even made a statement, maybe it's close to a chairman somewhere, I don't know where, whatever it is, said the chairman got the first allocation 200 million, second one dropped 400 million. He said the guy said he wanted to go mad. And what did he do? He traveled to Dubai. He wants to go and just be normal. 400 million in a month. Then he would have gone mad. Why? Because the mentality is that the person believes that that money belongs to him. These local government areas are under cartels, under cabals. Some of these local government areas, the people lording over them, they don't see the governor as anything. They don't. We'll go to that because we have a lot of facts about how the system is run. So if you are not the one recruiting your staff, which is some of the issue I'm going to address, are the local government areas the ones recruiting their staff? Or staffs are recruited for them and paid with money from these local government areas? So what are you talking about autonomy? The court, what do you call it? The court case was unnecessary. The judgment was not interpreting the law. It was making or inventing a new law. Let the money go straight. What happens to joint account? It's not been abolished, and that condition has to be amended, and that has to be done fast. Now that the governors have not honored the fact that transition committees are illegal, would federal government go to court again? No. It's only the governor of your state that came out to say they are uncomfortable because they know how they have been using local government funds to juggle here and there, balance things up, and implement projects for the state. And like I've said, maybe in the write-up I've not even shared yet, is that some governors, the programs that they embarked upon, the appointments they made, they were banking on some funds from the local governments. And since this is a stock, they are going to be stocked, and they must innovate. They must create new avenues of having access to those monies. Otherwise, some of the bogus appointments given to some persons who don't even deserve to be called by whatever titles they call themselves is going to be something else, and it's not going to be hidden. And those that are saying that, oh, council chairmen are going to find themselves in the EFCC Senate, council chairmen have now become executive chairmen, just like executive governor or the president. They will look for what you call that immunity, because they don't want to be distracted. You must allow the governor who is heading the state. You don't allow the council chairman who is heading the third tier, very strange term. You don't allow the governor the chairman to also exercise authority and flow freely from criminal and other form of cases. They will look for autonomy, they will look for immunity, and that will further destroy the whole situation, because Nigeria's condition had given room for people to steal or killed and not be tampered with, because it will be counted as distraction. And that is one of the fraud, that is one of the corruption that has been legalized. So there's so much conversation that we in Open Forum we are going to come up with a detailed documentary at a level that will throw up some of these things and show that what is called autonomy is not properly defined, and until it's well defined and how to save the local government is set out, we have not started. And mind you, I insist, local government is not a third tier in a federation. Local government is a development center in state. They are supposed to be under state. And the man that has done a model for this country, there are two of them. One of them is called Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the now president. As governor, he created 37 local development areas, because Lagos State has about between 16 to 20 million people in it, and they could not make do with 20 local government areas to cater for the needs of those people. And the then president stopped allocations to the state. He survived without federal allocations, went to court, and he won. And the monies were released. And another person happens to be Obon Victor Ota. He said in Akwa Ibom State, as a federating unit, that he was going to implement parliamentary system. You cut cost at the local government area. Let you have 10 councillors for the 10 wards. When they come, one of them becomes the head of council. He did that here. And cost was cut. And the councillors became supervisors on different subheads. But because politicians are using local government to settle their cleaners, their gardeners, their security men, their drivers, and some people they are grooming who will go there and be making returns for them, we now see appointments, some of people like the civil certification board called, they called them illiterate at one time when the controversy raged. People that can't even articulate, they don't know left from right. A number of them don't know it.
Okay, citizen, Before we leave the state level now back to the national level, let's talk about the build up to the local government council elections. I would like to get your insight. What you know, I know you do a lot of investigation. What's really going on here? Now the thing is, this because it's very close to the grassroots, it's very critical. It's one of very important election. So it's very important that a lot of washing, a lot of should I say dry cleaning? I don't know if that's the word, is done on that level before we even get to the federal level. Yeah. So that's why it's so important to me. So what has been your insight on this?
I have been struggling in my spirit to be myself over the proposed local government elections. In this state, I have been one of the loudest voice making a case for the repositioning of the local government system. And I've said so even here, right now, that local government does not exist. What is existing are expenses areas, settlement camps, nurseries for grooming, majorly of people who are to learn how government money can be stolen, looted, or pilfered upon, and is done in such a crude manner that the ones you say this is not the supervisor, it's not the councillor, you even say chairman, do a special program, pair a chairman with any analyst, not me alone, and let us discuss on local government system, the progress there, what they have been able to do, and what are their challenges. I bet you, Sharon, if you send invitations to all the council chairmen, even past ones who still have records of service, that they know what they did, if you have 50%, give yourself 100 for even coming in the first place. What will be the outcome will be mind-boggling. So, local government first does not exist. It's not just in Enquiry state. It's a national thing. There may be few exceptions. There are some states that even their governors, remember, I think it was Kaduna State, one other state, I can't really recall, maybe Rivers, they said they used to give them, their money goes to them, they don't touch anything. And you find local government councils building projects not from loan but from allocation. A local government, I think in Abia State, under Carlo, tarred a road. I will never forget it. This is a local government council, I think in Delta State. I have lost some of these materials when these hoodlums attacked, and I lost those materials. The kind of project that guy did, either Delta or Edo State, you will never believe the local government. But you come here, some of the council areas are nothing less than grazing reserves for cattle. I'm telling you. I tell you sincerely that some councils, like one day I saw in my council staff, people, crowd. I was scared. I said, what's happening? He said, they are staff. I said, what? Staff of where? He said, of the council. So, how come I've not been seeing them? They said they are coming for screening. Staff go majorly when they're screening. Why? Because even while they will want to go, there are no accommodations for some of them. They don't have chairs, they don't have tables, they don't have office spaces. They don't even have convenience to relieve themselves. Some of them don't have lights. That's why you find every year in, year out, both elected and appointed, the major project you see in the council that these people do is renovation of council, purchase of furniture, renovation of council. It becomes about the only project that they do. And you look at the figures, you look at what we see come out, and mind you, Sharon, there's no local government area in Nigeria that gets less than about 150 million every month. That's the least. Some of them get as much as 400 million in a month. So, what are the projects that you can point to? What is your staff strength? Mind you, it's not enough to cook up figures because you just disgrace yourself. Mind you, some of these records are here and there in government offices, spread here and there. So no matter the manipulation you want to do, there is a limit to it. So when you don't find projects commensurate with their locations, when you find that even the vehicle the chairman drives, the productivity of the chairman, even in 3 years, which is the time their tenure, is never commensurate with even the 10% of the cost of the vehicle the chairman drives. For vice chairman, those ones are like they are nobodies, because the highest the chairman would do is to go and buy one 1990 or 2010. Oh, 2010 is more very recent second-hand vehicle, and come to the public, call the press to give you the key. The secretary may not even have, except when they fight, like we've seen some fights here and there, because like one chairman said, it's only the chairman that eats in the council. So you wait for your time until you are the chairman. The mentality is crude. So there's no productivity. And local government is where the governance is. So one of the reforms that we should have should be one, there's one I won't mention on air, it's going to be mentioned in my documentary, but the one I can just say freely will be that we need to have responsible people go to man the local government system. And I want to say this, even when there's restructuring for proper administration of the federation, where local government will be under state and not federal government, not as a third tier, there should be a law that this X amount, as in budget, are you with me, should be set aside for local government areas. Not because local governments are development areas in state, they should not have their budget. They must have budget, and in having that budget must be almost 50-50 with the budget of the state, because it is at the local government area that you find development. Just like we're talking about federal government, there is corruption in Nigeria because there is too much money at the center, and the people at the center don't know what to do with the money. They cannot help themselves but to loot. They can't. What do you do with this kind of money? It's just sending out to who? People at Abuja don't know what is going on in Akwa Ibom, don't know what's going on in Zamfara. But if the revenue sharing formula tilts more in favor of state, and when it now comes to the state, constitutionally, you should say 50% of whatever money that comes in, whether we are going to run fiscal federalism where we generate money here, we only pay tax to the federal government, but within here, whatever money that are generated, 50-50. The state government will give 50% because there's actually no state. So I hope you know this. The state are the local government. Are you following me? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When you talk about, say, okay, Akwa Ibom State, SHARON, where's Akwa Ibom State? Where? We are in Uyo local government area now, isn't it? So where's Akwa Ibom State? I am from Seleta local government area. The governor is from Newsroom local government area. So who's going to develop Newsroom local government area? The state must have special areas to concentrate. But as we speak now, particularly under this administration, because local government does not exist, His Excellency has been implementing projects that are clearly and specifically under the purview of local government. Primary schools, primary healthcare centers, markets, community centers. I don't know the project that have been the most celebrated. Poverty alleviation is supposed to be handled by councils. Farm, their edict contains even some provisions that, going by what is playing out, if what I'm thinking is what is likely to happen, the federal government, using this so-called autonomy, will be running local government areas from Abuja. And that will be very dangerous. I'm telling you, that will be very dangerous. Because there are some things that are contained in their laws that the federal government will entice them, implement this, and they implement it before you know it. It's not everything I can say on air. But the truth of the matter is that there is no local government system. And until the corruption is cleared, the election we are going into is like wanting to put a new wine in not just an old wine skin, but a very messy, very dirty wine skin or pot. Let's say, okay, a good to Abangukot. While growing up, you may be aware of this. I don't think you've seen that. You know, in communities, you go to the village or family town hall. You know what happens? They keep a pot there and put in wine, palm wine, and keep ukbok there. Anybody that goes there, you just carry ukbok, scoop the thing, and drink and drop it for another person. Nobody sits there to watch. Nobody poisons it. Have you seen that kind of thing before? You see, Gen Z. I'm telling you life. Nobody is there. There's wine for anybody. Or Facebook. When there's a burial, a pot is kept in the open, and ukot is put there non-stop. As it goes down, they put more. And when that is done, they wash it and put fresh wine. But what is happening is such that you are having a situation where people know that this very Gmukot contains nothing other than virus, but they still say, let us use it. Why? Because there's interest, and those interests are very personal. And until those cabals are cleared, some of them, their record is such that you can never, in fact, some people that should be looking for soft landing are the people calling the shots in a number of places. And it's such a shame, and it's an indictment that leadership has not been able to know, or maybe they know they refuse to do something about cleaning the mess in the local government system. So I'm not excited at what is going on, and that's why everything inspires me. The courage to even go this far has inspired me. I lack resources, but I'm trusting God that miracle will happen for me to be able to put up those research, study of the research, put up those podcasts, and enlighten society, because without enlightenment, we cannot move forward.
All right.
Yes.
Citizen, let's open the phone lines now. Just when we're done with the phone calls, then we'll get to talk about the planned nationwide protest and the fact that the House of Reps have called, for a meeting, a dialogue between the leadership of the protest and, of course, the ministries that are concerned. But let's open the phone lines and hear what people have to say about this discussion. 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. These are the phone numbers to call us on. You could also send us a message on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 066 6909. We're also streaming live on Facebook. The handle is Memories 965 FM. Good morning, Nakwan.
Good morning, Lady Sharon.
You're welcome.
And good morning, Dad.
Good morning, Mr. Pan.
Yeah, good job. I called from you. In fact, I have to thank you. Because, in fact, given a chronicle of the super corruption that happens in Nigeria, and only from that, it means Nigeria needs a deliverer. Because at the federal level, it is corruption galore. At the state, it is corruption galore. At the local government, it is corruption galore. The solution is that we look for So, because our leaders are giving the impression that when once you are there, it is your opportunity to take away the people's commonwealth. But it is time to say that commonwealth I swear among the people. And if commonalism to be the problem, let us go for it. Because we are tired of corruption at all the levels of government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akpan. Okay, so we're going to be taking up more calls: 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. We'll be taking messages too on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 066 6909. Remember that we're streaming live on Facebook and the handle is Memories965FM. Drop a comment there and we'll definitely be reading it out live. Alright, so Citizen, let's hear you react to what Akpan said and then we go into the nationwide protest.
Yeah, Akpan is one of the brightest minds on radio.
Before you could go on, let's get another call.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sharon.
Welcome.
Good morning, my guest in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
I am well blessed by your analysis. It's a pleasure for God to bless us with a man like you.
I thank you.
Sometimes I wonder why people like you will not just God will just push the people to go and save us and save the menace that we are going through. Everywhere is corrupt, apart from in a local government. My brother, what you are saying is not far. Imagine when I was far back 1992, I was still a little child. Up till now, there is no change. We have series of local government chairman, transition chairman. Yeah, there is no difference. Nothing has changed. The place is nothing to write home about. I went to do an upgrade in maybe I could talk for where the governor asked the House of Assembly to go and do assessment. The transition chairman could not even speak. He was lying. Even when they left, the staff they was like, can our boss lie this far? I don't know what is really going on. I think it's high time for we to sit down as the people, whether we want to protest and root out the people that are not meant to be in government so that the rightful people can stay in and move this state forward. People suffer and die for this country to be in Nigeria when we find ourselves. How can people be looting our commonwealth and every other person are clapping?
Thank you very much, Simple. Citizen.
I've got to start from Akpan. I've said Akpan is one of the brightest minds and scholars, and I have recommended him, and I want to still recommend him to any studio, any station, to be inviting Akpan to be on air. I'm not just the only person or one of the very few who are vocal. Akpan is vocal, is constant, and his thoughts are very refined. There's something he said as a solution, that we need indigenous solution. That has been my advocacy, and he talked about communalism, which is the way of our lives. Yes, but I want to say that we have lost our values as a people. Here in Akwa Ibom State, I'm not always afraid to say this because that's the truth. We are one tribe state, one tribe. One ethnic group, but with tribal, slight dialectical differences. And we have that culture of, without even the God of heaven, with our fathers had what we call Abasiye Eyeyen, the grandchild, Abasi Ukut, Abasi Iman. For the fact that I'm listed with you, it's a taboo for me to do evil to you. For the fact that I'm a grandchild or an in-law in a place, it's a taboo to plan evil or to be part of it. And they say, you don't plot evil against an in-law. And there's a name, you hear people being called, You know where the name comes from? You don't know. for those that are listening, Sharon is shaking her head. She doesn't know what means.
I know what means.
What does mean?
Thief.
Good. But are you aware that in Ibibio, in Akwa Ibom, does not mean thief, only thief. Means grandchild.
Susan, let's pick this call before you go on with the analysis.
Good.
From Udo. Good morning and welcome, Udo.
Good morning, Sharon.
Welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
My people, I want to appreciate for always being honest analysis. We also try to know what's going on about what we are always crying about. And I want to say that definitely I will full support of the local government financial autonomy. Now I don't know if there are other autonomy added to that financial autonomy. So local government. I support that because of very what sexual and this is the federal government has been considering them all the time for not doing well in their governance. So I want to believe that if they use this opportunity to reach out to the people of the local government, I think it will be better because it is not right that they are giving allocation to the state government and the chairman of the local government. And these allocations are not appropriately used for the benefit of the people of the local government and the state. Then people will be jumping the local government, the state, and be blaming them. In fact, in a point of statement, it is the duty of the citizens because they are blinded by our state government and also the local government officials. The defeat is not making them to know that what belongs to us has been given to them, and when they come, they will do these things for their comfort and whatever. Then they will just defeat us to continue to be blaming the local, federal government. So I want to believe that they should stop continuing the blame and do something in the state. They should come as monitor to the state and make sure that what they give to the people goes to the people. That's my take.
Thank you very much, Udo.
Yeah.
0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. The WhatsApp number is 0809 066 6909. I was streaming live on Facebook, Memories 965.
Yeah, let me drop this thought because it's important. You're talking about, is thief here in this part of the world. But in other words, is a very, it's a title, is an immunity that is bestowed upon the grandchild. A grandchild, by the time he goes to his roots, is allowed to take whatever he wants. If they kill the cow here, and a grandchild enters this premises, you understand, and the cow has been pieces, a grandchild can just take any part. Nobody will stop him. Coconut, whatever, the only thing a grandchild is not allowed to do is to pluck kola nuts, ibom, and that goes beyond the natural ibom that you see. You don't commit evil. There's also a clause. So when you hear Ino is not thief, as in every Ino is a thief. Ino is a name of pride. Grandchild, that's an immunity. But trying to learn the thought on upon, we have lost our values. Even those who are supposed to be custodians of these values, some of them don't respect it at all because everything has been politicized. So you find somebody with a title lie for a living. Somebody with a title who wants to be worshipped is nothing but a blatant liar. That's a big problem. So we need to go back to reinventing who we are. Simple Joe had talked about the lies going on in government. I said so before. Invite all the council chairmen, give them dates to come. in fact, dedicate maybe 2 weeks or within the month before election is over to do an x-ray. Have them and have some analysts with them. Do a panel. Some of them will never come. They will never come. Because you can't give account. The things that go in local government, you can't give account. Because nobody wants to give account. And the issue is, Sanawoya. Now Sanafineya. And for some of us who wants to speak the truth, that's how I was almost killed. I'm alive now because of God and Nigerian police force. Yes, I say that everywhere. Nigerian police force kept me alive. Left for the Nigerian police force and God Almighty. And the prayers of people like they have been praying for me here, I will be killed by who? Supposed leaders, including negligence from those at the state level. So, lying is seen as protecting the system. Telling truth, you are attacking the system. And that's why we'll never make progress. And that's why society can never lack people like us. And we are many. So, there's a lot to be done in that regard, because without accountability, there's nothing we can do. Talking about what Joe said. Joe, I'm in support of what is called financial autonomy. Let's add the word term financial, and that we have to define it very well. And then I have said it was not necessary for the federal government to have gone to court, because it's in the constitution. Joint account did not say government take the monies that have been given from the FAC to local government. Joint account was two bodies owned local government. Federal government, because in the constitution, yes, for now is in the constitution, and then state, because you are the supervisors of local government and you make laws for them. When we give our own, when we come back, you from IGR add 10%. Have they been adding the 10%? Did you need the Supreme Court to tell the federal to state government to give what is due to local government? When President Buhari made that executive order and set up the NFIU, National Financial Intelligence Unit, to monitor local government's funds, that whatever comes, look, you cannot take more than 500,000 naira or spend more than 500,000 in a day using this method, because every money must be accounted for. Did they enforce it? They did not. So we are looking at a situation where nobody will do what you expect. No, few people will do what you expect. But if you want result, you must inspect what you tell people to do. Without inspection, nobody will deliver. And that is where people in government wallow in impunity because of gullibility of citizens and weaponize poverty. That's what people say about me. I'm a miracle, Sharon, that I'm alive. I'm still talking the way I'm talking, despite that after losing everything, diabolical and physical and all sort of attacks, but I'm still here. I'm even doing better. It's a miracle. That's why we've grown above the level of fear, because we are on a mission and we are more. We just need more people to speak up and let our leaders know that we know these things and we don't fight. Like you talked about the protest. You mentioned something about the protest.
But we're out of time.
I wanted to say something.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that. I wish we had the time. Anyway, there's always time because this convention continues.
Yeah.
And like I've said, we are running what I called, we are an ideas bank. So, there is what is called right to protest. It's a constitutional right. And wherever you find somebody tell you don't protest, know that you have met a devil. What's important is make it peaceful. I went on protest, 7 days hunger strike, after several letters, tons of letters, and people who were supposed to have done something about it became liars, even at their various levels. What did I do? Some students heard that I was to go on hunger strike. Do you know what they said? They wanted to mobilize to join me. Do you know what I did? I told them not to, because I don't want it to be out of hand. It will be misunderstood. I am the one suffering. People want to support me. I said no. I'll be misunderstood. It might get out of hand. What am I trying to say? Protest is necessary, but it must be well organized. My talking like this, are you aware that I'm protesting? It's not until you go about carrying placards up and down to bring alternative views, to show people the truth, is enough protest. And that's what I'm advocating. Yes, people can go on the street. And the king of protest in Nigeria is Mr. President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I'm going to do a documentary on the protests he did and the solutions he brought. Sharon, are you aware that the solution that was suggested by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2012 to President Jonathan when he protested against the fuel subsidy removal is the exact worst reverse that he has done? And what should we do? We have to just carry Asiwaju's solution to what he called the Jonathan tax and show Mr. President that this is our position.
Okay.
No other demand. There will be no greater protest. The worst is to find people who say, do as I say, not as I do. When you find such people, be careful with them because they are very dangerous. And if you don't do something about it, they will do something very dangerous and we may never recover.
Thank you very much, Citizen. We're out of time now. We'll have this conversation another time. The protest is slated to be starting on the 1st of August, which is a week from now. So we'll have more conversations on this. Thank you very much for listening to the Melting Point on Memories 96.5 FM, and thank you once again, Citizen Matthew Kofi Okono, for your time and contribution here.
My pleasure.
My name is SHARON MANDOR. Do well to stay tuned because the BBO belt will be coming your way in a matter of seconds.